Hey, good morning everyone. So making this video to kind of show my rune light setup specifically for Tob. I think Tob's probably the most plugin dependent of the three raids. Not dependent, you don't need plugins to do it, but it definitely helps the most out of all three raids. So I just kind of want to show my setup and things that maybe help me. So if you're getting into Tob, whatever, you can kind of copy what I've got going on, and it'll probably just help you out, help you learn the content a little better. So to start off, I play size of your screen, rune light client, whatever. I play full screen. A lot of people don't like full screen, but I don't have a problem with it. I just scale my UI so you can see how big my inventory screen is and everything. So that's kind of the first thing I do. I also play with these ground markers, the tile indicators. So this is a really good plugin specifically for Tob. It's very movement based. So I have kind of two tile indicators. You see when I click, it shows the tile, my destination, and then also my true tile. And as you can see, I have my true tile actually fades after like 3 or 4 ticks. So the way you set that up, the true tile is actually on corner tile indicator. I like this more because I just don't want my true tile taking up the whole thing. I think it looks kind of ugly, but just the corners is a little more, visually, like aesthetically pleasing. And then also, when it disappears, it looks good. So corner tile indicator, highlight destination tile, and then highlight current tile, corners only, fade out. So that's kind of the setup I have for that. Some other stuff I have set up. So I have the prayer orb. This is like almost like a visual metronome, like tick indicator. It's not really super needed for Tob. It's really good for like Inferno or anything where you're prayer flicking. Basically, every time this blue bar gets resets over here on the left side is when you double click. So it's double click, double click, double click, double click, like that. And that's just on the prayer plugin right here. So uh, is it actually? Yeah, yeah. Prayer orb, prayer flick location, never hide prayer flick helper. Another really good plugin I use for Tob specifically that is really helpful. It's kind of a visual metronome. So a lot of people do use the visual metronome. I personally don't use it, but I do use this one is really good, the attack timer metronome. So this, if I let me just go like to Varrock or something and kill a guard so you can kind of see what's going on. There's but basically, all this does is this makes it so when I attack, it shows a tick timer over my head for cooldown on basically cooldown on my timer, so I can tell when I'll be able to attack again. So I have a 5 tick weapon here. I have the scythe, so I'll attack, and then it'll show like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll attack again on 1. So you'll see it here. Click the guard, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can attack again on 1, 3, 2, 1, 4. So you can see this is really helpful, specifically for, it's really good for Zarp, Zarpus. If you're learning 5 tick Zarp instead of 5.3 tick, you'll be able to tell when you're going to miss a hit because it shows you exactly kind of where you are in the attack cycle. So you can see if you're behind in the attack cycle, anything like that. Cooldown, it also, if you eat food, it adds to the cooldown. This is probably one of my favorite plugins on here. So yeah, that's really good. I would definitely recommend that, or at least some visual metronome, because it's really helpful for Tob. Then going in, like bank setups, this is really helpful. I just have like different roles, and you can have like different setups here. So just all the items you would need, easy regearing. Some people do it so you can just like kind of click through and it'll set your inventory up perfectly. I just like to set it up the way it looks. I don't care if it's a little slower to regear, but it helps. You've got like all your pre-pots in here, basically anything you need. So that is really good for setting that up. Other plugins here that really are helpful for Tob. Obviously, Tob mistake tracker. You definitely want that. Pay no attention to the mistakes that I made on this raid. I definitely did not die at Nyloer. I died at Bloat. So that just was wrong. But yeah, Tob mistake tracker. This is fun. And it kind of if you make a mistake, it shows it, and you get a little funny message over someone's head. So that's good. But the biggest one, obviously, Tob QOL. So this is in the plugin hub. Tob quality of life, general information, like loot reminder with the chest and everything, maiden, crab health, bloat, hide ceiling change, Nylo, pillar health. So, hide white screen, that's really good. Also the projectile theme. This is, I changed this to Inferno. I think this makes it 100 times easier to see the soap balls. The soap attacks, the range and mage attacks, versus when just the default. Zarpus, the sheesh, you definitely want the sheesh on there. Verzik, death ball alarm is really good for Verzik, just so you can see if you have the death ball on you. It only puts the alarm out when the death ball comes on you. So that's really helpful for Verzik. Also like tornado marking and all of that, and then time tracking, all of that. So this is kind of the way I set it up. You can pause if you want, but this is probably the most useful plugin for Tob is Tob QOL. So definitely get that. Then kind of going into more specific rooms. So I'll have some paste bins kind of at the bottom, but so if you see here, let's go to ground. So this is for bloat, ground object hider. So what this does is it bloat. Basically, if you install this and then you go IDs to hide, put these IDs in, it'll completely hide the floor at bloat. So then for it to not just be a black screen, you go in and you download Skybox. So Skybox, Overworld, and Cave World, Cave Sky color. I use this little blue color. I think it looks nice like in the game, but basically at bloat, your floor will be that color, which makes it just so much easier to distinguish the falling hand. So, you can make it any color you want. I prefer something lighter so you can, have a big contrast with the dark. But yeah, this is really good for bloat. Probably one of the biggest one of the most helpful plugins for bloat. Then going forward, Nylo. So big one is the Nyloer plugin. So you go here. Nylo Death Indicators is a big one as well. It hides dead Nylo NPCs faster. I would download that. And then Nyloer here. So this is really this is a really powerful plugin. So what this plugin does, if you go onto the sidebar, this N right here, the Nyloer, you have role swaps. So depending on what role you're doing in the raid, so let's say I'm maging, I click mage. What this will do is if I have, 5 or 6 Nylos stacked on a pillar, the mage Nylo will always be the left click priority if I'm in the mage role. So I'll always have left click priority over the role I click on here. So it just makes it so much more AFK, as you can imagine. I mean, you don't have to right click pillars anymore. You can just left click and it'll automatically attack the mage or the range or the melee, or you can set up a custom whatever, and then you can kind of see, like, go into role swapper. This is that you can set up a custom role here too. You can highlight the mage tiles. So let's say you're mage and you want to highlight mage Nylos, you can click that. So this is a really kind of a busted plugin, to be honest, but it's really good. Then onto kind of the next room. So the Tob QOL plugin's good. And then also just for all of these rooms, you want to have the right ground markers. So I actually have this. This is a plugin. It's called Tile Packs. So this is on the plugin hub. Tile Packs. So if you go into here, it's on the sidebar. It's this little green square, and you just type in. So it has all of these tile packs for just all of this different stuff, and then you type in Tob, and you can get maiden tiles, you can get soap tiles, Verzik tiles, right? And it just automatically imports them, so you don't have to go manually mark them or anything. Automatically imports them. So that's really helpful. Zarp, that's obviously good for Zarp. And then, plugins at Zarp, obviously the attack timer metronome is really useful. And then the tiles, and that's pretty much all you need. Also the I guess for Zarp and the other rooms where you spec people down, you want these plugins here. So party and party defense tracker. So you can have, party defense tracker. Basically what this will do is when it'll track your teammates' specs, and it'll tell you what the monster's defense is. So you can see if Zarpus has 0 defense, if the people are in your party. So this is a really useful plugin as well. So then going over to onto Verzik. So Verzik plugins, one plugin I really like that I don't see a ton of people use is the radius markers for the crabs. So if I can, I'm trying to find which one of these is the radius marker sign. But the crab radius marker, oh, here it is. Yeah. So, and I'll put these in a paste bin as well. If you go to, let's see, what do I have them on? Oh, Verzik, yeah. So Verzik. So what this does is it puts a radius marker over the Nyloes that Verzik shoots out. So in P2 and in P3, all of the crabs that explode, the heat seeking missile crabs, it puts it puts a radius marker over them that shows you their detonation range. So if you stand within that radius marker and then run out, it'll pop the crab. So it tells you exactly how close you need to be to pop a crab. So that's really useful, especially, you know, with True Tile. You can see like, oh, the crab's coming over here, and then he's over here, and I pop him, and then I run away. So this is really useful, especially for beginners. I would say definitely install these. It'll kind of just help you get the timing of popping crabs a little better as well in Verzik. Other Verzik plugins, I mean, a lot of people use the visual metronome for tanking. I just use my attack timer metronome. It kind of works the same. You can kind of count down in your head. You just don't look at the numbers. You just look at when it changes. But yeah, visual metronome can be good for Verzik tanking. Obviously, you want the tile indicators. One really useful thing, if you're learning like 112 or whatever, the so for the scythe, specking at the pillar, specking for P1. If you so with menu entry swapper, I have my my shift click to wield on the side. So if you go swap shift click, it's on wield right now. So basically that means if I'm specking, let's say I got the staff in my hand, I'm specking with the staff. I hit the spec bar, I can just spam left click right here. I'll wield my scythe, and then I'll have the shift click to drop for the staff. So it'll wield my scythe and drop the staff at the first available tick. So that's really useful for P1, just so you can drop the staff, you know, at the right time. Because if you drop late, if you're doing, you know, techniques like like Hado, if you drop late, you kind of throw off the rhythm of the team. So that's really useful for that. Kind of other quality of life, menu entry swaps. So if you go to custom menu swaps here, at the bottom we have so Tob chest here. This is really useful. So this means if I left click, I can left click buy one shark, buy one mana ray, one brew, one restore at the top chest. So it just saves time. You don't have to right click and then, you know, take out one and accidentally buy too many or whatever. You can just left click as many as you want, and it'll buy everything for you there. So that's a really useful plugin. Custom menu swaps, and then just this top chest here, buy one at the bottom. So that's useful too. I think other stuff, I mean, P3 Verzik, I don't think there's other than just tiles and tanking outside of the Tob QOL stuff. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think that's most of the plugins I use here at Tob and just in general. So definitely, you know, let me know if this helps you out. Let me know if there are any other, you know, really good plugins that I've missed that, you know, you guys use for Tob or for any other content. I'll have paste bins for the radius markers and for the bloat ground hiders in the description. So make sure you check that out, and thanks for watching.